Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Puritan and we get to hear from Widow Plus today. That's not Widow Plus something. Her last name is Plus, otherwise known as Lady Plus. And she is in this Act 1, Scene 1. She's grieving the loss of her husband. She's there with her two daughters, her son, and her brother-in-law, and she is beside herself with grief. And her brother-in-law, Sir Godfrey, has been trying to calm her down and sort of talk her out of this sort of hysteria that she's in. And he recently brought up the fact that when his brother died, her husband, he actually left her with a fair amount of money, and she's also young and attractive, so she could very easily get married again. And then he's like, you know, your daughters could also be getting married again, or getting married for the first time soon, because they're young and attractive. So there's a lot to be happy about coming up very soon. And Widow Plus says, marry again? No! Let me be buried quick then. And that same part of choir whereon I tread to such intent, oh, may it be my grave. And that the priest may turn his wedding prayers, even with a breath, to funeral dust and ashes. Oh, out of 1,000,000 of millions, I should ne'er find such a husband. He was unmatchable. Unmatchable. Nothing was so hot, nor too dear for me. I could not speak of that one thing that I had not. Beside, I had keys of all, kept all, received all, had money in my purse, spent what I would, went abroad when I would, came home when I would, and did all what I would. Oh, my sweet husband. I shall never have the like. So, shocking absolutely nobody, Lady Plus is against getting married again. She's like, I would rather die than get married again. And then she goes sort of again into what a wonderful man her husband was. She says she never wanted for anything, like she never lacked anything. He gave her everything that she wanted, and beyond that, she was allowed to spend her money how she wanted to, and she could travel when she wanted to. She was like, he was the absolute best, and I'm never gonna find somebody else like him. And Sir Godfrey's like, yeah, he was great. But, and she's like, no, it's not going to happen. And she kneels down for weeping, and her two daughters kneel down weeping with her, sort of out of solidarity. And Mala's like, you know, I wish I could have a husband. Like, Mom's going to forego another one. I wish I could have just one. That would be nice to get married at some point. And Widow Plus finds a picture of her husband, and she kisses it, and she's like, look at him. He was so perfect. He was so great. Blah, 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 all this stuff. And there's more moaning and weeping and wailing, and she and Lady Plus and Francis finally exit. And Moll has a little aside before she exits where she's like, I'm ready to get married. I'd kind of like to get married. I gotta go on with this whole grieving thing, but I'd like to get married. And then she leaves, and then Sir Godfrey has a moment where he's like, it'd be nice if we could marry her off, Lady Plus, the Widow Plus. It'd be nice if we could get her married, but she's still grieving, and my brother was a good man, wasn't he? And then he leaves, and then Edmund is left by himself on stage. Remember, he was not crying over the loss of his father. He's left alone on stage at the very end of the scene, and he's going to have a monologue that we will get to hear tomorrow to wrap up Act 1, Scene 1. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.